It's been a rough ride for Senseonics. Since their all-time high, they've been down 64%, and ever since they got FDA approval for the first and only 180-day glucose monitoring device, their stock has continued to plummet. So I want to clarify some rumors. I'm Juan. I've been trading and investing for over a decade, worked for one of the largest companies in Texas in upper management, and went back to school to get my degree in finance. I want to make financing and trading easy for you. Let's talk about acquisition. There was an interesting article that came out that showed a correlation of insider selling, insider transactions before an acquisition. Well, I want to clarify this rumor. Senseonics is not being acquired. The insider seller was pre-scheduled. Think about it. Senseonics was trading at $5. Senseonics was trading at $4, $3. Why would they wait till it dropped so low? It was already a pre-scheduled sell according to their 13F. So that's the first rumor that I want to dispel. And having their partnership with Essentia, it wouldn't make sense for them to sell. Another complaint or rumor that I've seen is a call for the CEO to step down because of his earnings that he predicted for 2022, which was 14 to 18 million. First, this is a lower earning than their 2018, 2019, and they have a new device. So why was it done? It was actually done for transparency. Analysts were expecting $30 million in revenue. This transparency that there's no way we're going to reach 30 million. Here are the reasons why. First, although they got FDA approval, they're not selling the product yet. It's going to take some time. Secondly, they have a back order of their 90-day device that still has to be sold. Thirdly, they were still partially affected by Omicron and not being able to increase sales of their device. It's a combination of all those things. I wouldn't be surprised if when they announced their earnings in March, that it's lower than the Q4 of last year. That's still a high probability because of COVID, because of Omicron, because of some of the fears. And the overall CGM sector was down the last few days. His coming out and not having that high expectation of 30 million and giving investors clear transparency that your revenue expectations are double than what we're expecting, I have to salute the man. They lost a ton of money by making that announcement because they had their sales coming up and he still went ahead and made the announcement. I have a higher level of respect for the CEO. Now, let's say he would have not said anything and the stock spikes up and then they have their sell. But for him to come out and give realistic expectation, I salute the CEO. Now, that's the negative. Let's look at the positive. I'm still bullish. I'm still holding. My plan to make some short-term money along with long-term money has changed. But I want you to look at this company stock from a bird's eye view and think to yourself, they have a device that is more accurate than Dexcom and a lot of their competitors and lasts 180 days. So it's a lot to be optimistic for. Now, we can look at the technical analysis. We can look at the put-call ratio and say it's starting to look like it's churning around. They have a 90+% squeeze score. But anybody who tells you it's going to squeeze, it's going to have the short squeeze, it's just speculation. There's a high probability based off the squeeze score, if some positive news comes, some catalysts come, that it can possibly squeeze. But we would just be guessing. Let's look at what's realistic. Upcoming catalysts for next year, their preliminary data for their 365. Now, we're going to see their R&D expenses increase. Their R&D is going to increase because they have to prepare for the 365, but that's a potential catalyst. Another potential catalyst is now that Essentia has this 180-day approval that expand to other markets, like maybe Asia. Then I do think another catalyst, I think in Q4, they're going to have strong earnings. If their 180-day catches traction, I think it's going to take a little while. And we may see the results of their sales in Q4 or Q1 for 2023. All those things are potential catalysts. Right now, it may be a little roller coaster, have its little ups and downs, spikes, downfalls. But again, let's look at this from an eagle eye view. So if we look at Dexcom, let's say you invested here in 2015, August, and you bought it at 104, and then 5 months later, it's down 56% to $48. Now, if you were bullish and you really were just holding it and not really looking at it, when it's up here, do you really care if you got in at $100 or $80? It really doesn't make a difference. If you were bullish and you were expecting it to do well in the future, then this doesn't matter. And even here, look, was at 455. It dropped 33% to 305. Recently, it spiked up all the way to $657, down 42% to $381. Senseonics, since its inception, started off spiked here, dropped 70%. It's an up and down. It's a high volatility play. So you have to expect these ups and downs. Since this spike up here to 532, it dropped 90% all the way down to the 33 cents. Is it possible it can drop below $1 again? It is possible. It's very possible. But if you're bullish and you're saying, you know what, I'm just going to keep this in my account, put money into it every few months, and in 5-6 years, I'm going to 5x my investment. Recently, since the high, 554, it's dropped 67%. It's coming into good area of support. You see here, it bounced off a 2. But if this doesn't hold, it's possible that it can get close to 171, 170 in this zone here between 170 and $2. From the technical analysis aspect, I'm not really looking at it short term anymore. I got in early. I could have made good amount of money and sold it at 5s. And I was planning on swinging it for this. If it would have spiked during the FDA approval, it didn't. But it's just going to be a long-term hold for me. I'll keep following this company. And unless something fundamentally changes, I'm not selling my position and I'm not worried about it. But if you do like technical analysis, I have quite a few videos on technical analysis, like this one over here on the Fibonacci retracement. Please watch it. Thank you for watching. See you on the next video.